The best and worst part of every map in Marvel Rivals. Now, there's going to be a common theme with this video. Essentially, any of the map spots that have places where you can easily get pushed off are going to more than likely be the worst spots on the map to fight at. And the best places are going to be where cheap things like that can't happen. Or if they do, it was way more skill involved and not just, listen, the team has no choice but to fight next to this pitch, so Spotty and Invis are going to spend the next minute and a half trying to push you off the map. Also, the best spots are where the fights are just the most fun and intense. With that being said, let's get into it. Starting off with Central Park, I believe the worst part of the map is the final leg, where you of course have the pit on the right that you can fall into. It's easily the worst thing to deal with, especially on offense as you're trying to push up the staircase. Things like Invis, Jeff, Spider-Man all shine here, but most recently Angela is just an absolute nightmare, which is why whenever I get this map I instantly ban her. Angela's entire job in this area is just to push people off the map, and that's it. And I think it's the cheapest thing ever. And there's no real way to avoid it. Like, you kind of can, but at some point you are gonna get pushed off whether you like it or not. It also doesn't help that this is just a nasty choke point period. As for one, the defense kind of has more of a right-hand peak than you. It's even worse when they are actually running a team of Jeff, Angela, Invis, and even Spider-Man. I have gone against that exact team comp, and it is as annoying as you think. Now, the best part of this map for me is the midsection. I think that this area is fine. I guess the only thing that's kind of annoying is that divers sort of have an advantage here, since you have all these different pockets and stuff you can duck in and out of. And also, if you're a mag player, Cloak and Dagger is kind of hard to hit in this area because she always ends up ducking into one of these little pockets as well. But yeah, I would say I have the most fun in this area. Moving on to the next map, we have Hall of Jolly. And here I can confidently say the worst part of the map is the final leg in this area. I think the worst thing about it is the smoke that appears that almost always benefits whatever team is on defense for some reason. Also, just this entire section in general, you know, this large room, I wouldn't say isn't fun, but I've had so many games just stop here. Granted, Hall of Jalia isn't a bad map, so there's that, but I think the reason a lot of games stalemate in this room is because there's a lot of breathing room for error, if you will. Like, you won't get punished too bad for overextending, at least the rank I play in, leave me alone. There's a lot of angles you can hit. You know, if you're a DPS, you can come off to the back over here for some pick, or far in this part of the room. Divers can go to the left side for a flank if they're on defense. Overall, I do think this area favors defense a little too much in my opinion. Honorable mention, the middle pathway going to the second point is very annoying because people like Loki and Punisher and Hela just love to just sit up here. And the best part of the map is, I guess, the first point. I think this whole middle area is the most fun to fight in, so yeah, moving on. All right, we got Clintar's Symbiotic Surface. I'm not going to waste time. I think the worst area here is the very first fight, without a doubt. It is grueling to fight through if you're on offense, man. Characters like Groot and Penny Parker just thrive here. Penny especially can just put her nest in the most cancerous of spots, and of course you always get DPS players who just don't know how to shoot Penny Nest for some odd reason. Getting through here, especially against a team with a strong front line, is painful. Your best bet is to either just build up your support ult faster than the enemy team, or get a Bucky or Invis pull and try to quickly punish someone who overextends. And if you can get an early kill, then you are good to go. But then on defense, it's kind of annoying because if you do lose first team fight, recontesting first point is almost impossible unless you have a support ult to blow the stall, or you somehow manage to get back in time, because the point is blocked off by the main gate and you have to go all the way around to contest. You usually won't have the time, and these two corridors on the left and right are really easy to block off anyway. So yeah, best area to fight in is the final area though, where everything opens up. This is fun. All right, and I know this isn't in the competitive map pool anymore, which is a shame because this map is one of my favorites and is also super nostalgic for me, but Shinjuya. Now, I am mainly a competitive nerd, I'll be honest, so I haven't played this map in God knows how long, but from memory, the worst area to fight in was the first area. It wasn't that fun for me personally. Trying to break this area on offense was a challenge for sure, especially when there's just so many places you can sit in that give the defense a sort of an unfair advantage. You can get on top of the buildings, you know, Punisher would always put this turret up here. Like, I feel as though portaling was almost always the go-to when it came to this map. Unironically, I think out of all the convergence schemes I've ever had in which I wasn't even able to capture first point, I can almost guarantee it happened the most on this map. The best area to fight in is probably the midsection, like right around here. It's pretty nice, I guess. For the longest time, Arako was my least favorite map in the game, but that has now been replaced by Heart of Heaven. I hate it with a burning passion, and I'm never excited to play it. There is a really great video on this map that TD2 made that I highly recommend watching. I'll actually leave that video in the description, but overall, my own personal gripe with it is just the section right after capping first point. Heading into the cave, and you have that bridge that like kind of crosses over on top. Like, this whole area is just trash. It's not fun. It feels very discombobulated. It feels linear, but open at the same time. It's almost as if the devs didn't know what they wanted the vibe of this map to be, so they just spliced a bunch of ideas together. I'm not even gonna give this map due diligence by giving you guys my favorite part of the map, because it's all bad except for the 3D animals outside the map. Those are cute. Now for the convoy maps, and in this pool we have 3 maps that are absolutely amazing and one that is completely trash in my opinion. We'll talk about that one first. Arako stinks, man. I'm not gonna get into all the reasons why I hate this map because that would take a while. For the worst area to fight in, I'm actually torn because I have 2. The first area where there is the giant pit on the side for some reason, and the tunnel part towards the back end of the map. We'll talk about the tunnel part first. The problem I have with this section is similar to why I really dislike the first point on Clintar. It's very narrow, so things like Groot and Penny shine here a lot, but going up against an Emma here is just just asking you to break your computer monitor. And then the stupid portals just make it even worse. I vividly remember trying to maggle a cloak and dagger, and I was locked in on her on that 4th dash, only for her to end up right by the portal by the end of her ult and being able to go right through it right as my ball hit her. That sucks. But yeah, this tunnel sucks more so on defense, I feel. I mean, it sucks period either way, but I'd much rather be in this tunnel on offense than on defense if I had to pick. And then this area with the huge pit near the start, dude, it's just Invis, Angela, Spider-Man heaven, and it's so annoying. Like, I get some of you guys think it's skillful to an extent, and it kind of is, but it's also still super cheap. And it's dumb because you legit have no choice but to push the cart through here. It's not like you can just completely avoid being near the pit. At some point, you will have to be by it. Best area is the mid-quarter section. This little hallway is fine, I guess. Honestly, Midtown is one of those maps that is just solid all around. I don't really have much to say about it necessarily. I don't have any problems with it either, sure enough. But I guess the worst area on the map to fight in would probably be the mid-hallway cave section thing going towards the second point. It's just super enclosed. Hitting maggots in here is really annoying. There's annoying ways to get flanked on defense and on offense for some reason. I don't know why, but I feel like Iron Fist is really annoying in this section. Like, I don't have a specific reason why. It's just whenever I think about this area, I think about Iron Fist. But realistically, stuff like Moon Knight and Namor are annoying here because their ults are hard to dodge because of how tight this section is. You can kind of put Doctor Strange in that conversation too. In general, with tight spaces like this, a lot of ults are hard to dodge, and that's why I dislike it. Best area on the map is the first section. Like, legit, the most fun I have on this map is the first few team fights. After that, it goes semi-downhill from there. But overall, solid map. Midtown's fine. Outer Islands is no doubt my second favorite map in the game, closely followed by the map I'll be talking about right after this, but I won't waste any time. The worst area to fight in is the midsection where you have the edge of the cliff on the left. On defense, you're probably having fun. On offense, it's annoying. It's just Invis, Angela, Spider-Man, Jeff, Heaven, and again, it's really annoying and not fun to go up against. Best area to fight in is the final section. I know there is a pit here where you can get pulled off the map and, you know, Jeff just goes absolutely ballistic in this area. But I'll let it slide just because how fun this area is regardless. Legit, the most intense matches I've had, a good portion of them happened here in this room. It all comes down to the wire here, and it's very, very fun. So you know what? The pit gets a pass here. Yggdrasil Path is my favorite map in the game by far, and has been since the game came out. It's visually pleasing. I love the little faint choir music that plays in the starting area where you're on offense.
Be careful. There are some forces that even...
However, that doesn't mean it's without its flaws. The worst area on this map is... Okay, damn, it's actually kind of hard to decide because they're all kind of good. Okay, I guess the midsection going towards the second point is kind of annoying. I feel like a lot of my games have come to a stop right here. This section specifically is just very narrow, and you have the other team funneling in through the right side here. You also have the flank option in the top right as well, which can be really problematic to deal with, but it's not too bad. But if I had to pinpoint the worst area on this map to fight in, it would probably be right here. Like, legit, I think like just right here is the biggest choke point where a lot of games will stop. Best area is just the rest of the map period, because the map is just that good. It's safe to say Domination is definitely my least favorite game mode in Marvel Rivals. Not bad, just my least favorite. I have the most fun on Convoy and Convergence maps. Domination is a little boring in my opinion, but I've had my fair share of really fun moments in lobbies on Dom, trust me. With that being said, let's get to the final section of the video, starting with KCOA. Now, I'm not going to go through each individual round map variation because a lot of them are just way too similar, and you're meant to fight in the middle area anyway, so I'm just going to go through the worst individual, I guess, things about each map. The portals of KCOA are really annoying. Also, hate how there's these towers on the back left and right side on map 3 Carousel, and then this dragon thing in the middle keeps blocking my mag ults. It's really irritating. Grove has this part underneath the point that in my opinion just doesn't even need to be there. Like, I can count on one hand how many times I've even been down there, let alone like if a fight has ever been down there. And then on Grove, I just have the most memories of getting dough on here. I don't know why. Like, for some reason, Venom comes to mind, just bending me over every time I think about Grove. Best map out of the 3 is definitely Grove though. Hell's Heaven used to be my least favorite map in the game until Heart of Heaven came out and made me realize what true sadness feels like. In all seriousness though, I hate Hell's Heaven, and the worst map in Hell's Heaven is map 1, Super Soldier Factory. The pit on the side is horrifically annoying. Just Bucky, Invis, Spider-Man, and Angela once again pushing you off the map 24/7. On Frozen Airfield, I really hate the changing environment because it happens at the worst time, and I've gotten separated from my team and killed by this way too many times. Best map out of the 3 is Eldritch Monument. It's fine. I have no problems with it. Moving on. Burn and T'Challa is my favorite Domination map, and it actually makes me like Domination sometimes. I really do like all 3 maps on here, but if I had to put them in order from worst to best, I'd put Imperial Institute of Science in 3rd, Warrior Falls 2nd, and Stellar Spaceport in 1st. In terms of the worst parts of each map, it's kind of hard to say because I genuinely like all 3 a lot. I guess Warrior Falls, I hate getting flung off the map just like the other ones, and the rock reformation thing that happens is also really annoying, but that's honestly it. The other maps I generally have no issue with. All right, now Clintar Celestial Husk. Clintar as a Convergence map is okay. As a Domination map, it's not that good. Visually, it's unappealing, and I hate how each map has something in the middle of the point that's like really annoying to deal with. I guess that's the worst thing about each map, is the pillar that's in the middle of every one of these. And also, it's just really damn ugly. Last but not least is Royal Palace. Similar to Shin Shibuya, this map is really nostalgic for me, as I'm mainly a person who does stay in ranked, and I haven't played this map in months, unfortunately. And if you ask me, I truly believe it deserves to be in the competitive map pool again. That being said, again, it's not perfect. It definitely has its flaws. A lot of people I remember had a big problem with Throne Room, and I actually agree. I always thought Throne Room, while visually amazing, was probably the worst map of the three to fight in, so I'm gonna go with that. I think the worst part about Throne Room is, you know, Throne Room. The cliff on the left side is not that appealing. Odin's Archive is always annoying because you have those pits that you can fall off, and people also can just sit up top. Bifrost Garden is rough because, well, I love it, so it gets a pass. No Bifrost Garden Center for me. It's visually pleasing, it's fun. I've literally never not liked this map at all. So there you go.